And welcome back to Straight Talk. We're going to continue our conversation about community events. And one of the ones was the Jesse Deer Fund, or scholarship, Memorial Scholarship.
Yeah, it's a media
You can talk
scholarship.
about this.
I'm one of the board members, but we are now accepting applications for the media scholarship, and it's our second year. We hope as a board that we're going to receive, a lot of people applying to the scholarship this year. And last year we had 3, I believe 3 or 4 anyways. And it's a really great scholarship, especially if you're going to school. Any student knows how hard it is, the difficulty financially when you're going to school. But just the scholarship itself, seeing as how media and the community has evolved, and it's garnered so much people into the field. We thought it was a great idea to have a scholarship, and especially after Jesse had passed.
What are some of the criteria, though, for individuals to applying?
Well, we really wanted them to represent the same kind of spirit and demonstrate that passion that Jesse had. He was great, and he just had it.
What I liked about Jesse was that he went across everything.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't get involved in like working for
politics
this, working that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he was just like such a strong personality and such a happy, positive personality that it was easy for him to go from one place to the next to the next, and at the same time.
At the same time,
I
don't think
sometimes he was spreading himself a little bit thin, but I really liked that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. We're not asking for candidates to be exactly, but, to demonstrate that kind of passionate, I guess exemplify that in the industry.
Yeah.
And
What does the person have to do to...
well, they have to apply to the Memorial Fund, and the deadline is April 15th. They have to submit a letter of intent, a letter of reference, and also an up-to-date transcript from university. And that's it.
And what do they need to be studying?
Media studies, journalism, or communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, if there's, if anyone has any more questions, they can definitely contact all the board members. There's myself, Steve Bonspiel from the Eastern Door. There's Greg Horn from yordiwase.com. Jean Daibo from KTV, and that's Mohawk Council. And Joe Delarone, I believe, represents K103. So if there's any more questions or anyone wants to talk personally with one of the board members, that's who they can reach.
Okay.
So,
perfect.
yeah.
All right, and what I like about it too is that it's just a positive affirmation for somebody who's studying this type of thing. Sometimes that's all you need is just a little bit push. Financially, it helps a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But just knowing that there's people behind you and
Right.
waiting for you to get out of school so you could work for them.
Yeah, exactly. We're all like, who's working in the industry?
Who can we get? Yeah.
But also, it's pretty prestigious. When you win a scholarship, you feel like you've been chosen for excelling in this field. So I guess, too, at the same time, it's like the first media scholarship ever. But yet media has existed in the community for a long time.
Yeah, we have a long history of media.
It's just grown in the last couple of years, and now you have online medias popping up. And the one thing that I kind of wanted to touch on really quickly is I don't have all the details yet, but I know that MohawkRadio.com has been sold. I don't know who bought it, but I was talking to Heo Kirby, the former owner, at this point on Facebook on the weekend, and I was reading that his grandson had been born, so congratulations to them. But he had also wrote that he had sold, so I inboxed him and I said, "Did you really sell Mohawk Radio?" And he said, "Yeah, we did. It's going to come out to who, but not at this point, I guess." Yeah, so... that's a big thing when somebody decides to sell their company. And I know that him and his brother had actually gotten really busy working away in Ontario, and he said that it was just, at this point, it was, they just couldn't handle it anymore. So he said a young group of people, I don't know any more details than that, but MohawkRadio.com has been sold.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Involvement of media in Ottawa.
So
the involvement continues.
Owners? And
There's only a few that outlast. Even Kenneth was 20 years and then he sold his company.
yeah.
Other than the radio station
I think he
is
sold
more
when
of
he
a
was at 15
or
years. 15 or 16 years.
But I mean,
yeah.
you know, the radio station is more of a community. It's not a private business.
Yeah.
So I think we're one of the older games now, right now.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the older private medias that. I mean,
it's a lot of hard work to own your own company privately, of course.
And that's why I never
we're
got
gonna
into
be 10
management.
years, yeah.
And that's probably why I lasted.
In August, when we started at the beginning, you know, it's going to be our 10th year. We're going to be heading into our 10th year of business. And I said, I'll do 10 years. I think I said 5. And I was like, all right, I'll go for another 5. I don't know where we're going to go after that, but, you know, it's going to be 10 years.
I remember doing it from your living room.
Yeah, when we first started. And Mike had bought, you know, our cameras for us and things like that. And we were really grassroots. We started
from your living room.
It was fantastic. So, and we remember, and Gene died at the beginning. He was our first host for news, and we had the panels that we and I thought, and at the time cue cards and
we tried
I mean, you
everything.
guys were so good, and you could just adapt, because then from there we went to the police station, and then we had the other office that was
the old dentist
on top of the dentist. And you know, all these years later, you look at what you start, and you're just like, wow, I'm amazed that, you know, we've done this. So,
and I tend to forget stuff like that too.
Yeah, it's fun to reminisce, and you know, and we go places. So
well, it seems it's flown anyway.
Yeah.
It's flown.
So we don't know, you know, maybe one day we'll be selling just like MohawkRadio.com did. You know, I think you have to evolve in things. So I don't want to stay. I don't know if I would want to stay in media for the rest of my days. Mm-hmm. Not to say not in media per se, but I mean as a journalist who's always on the beat, who's always, you know what I mean? I think you have to evolve from that at some point.
And it gets to be, you get a little jaded as well, like, you know, talking about like certain news stories and you know, like sometimes you just need a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Step back and get a day job.
And I think working in a small community in media is definitely a challenge. So
exactly. When your stories or your subjects are actually like your family, or you have personal relationships with them, and I think everybody in Gunawagi does. So
yeah.
All right. So
anyways.
Okay. So
moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyways, what we wanted to talk about too was in terms of selling and moving on and new businesses in the community, 7 Generations Daycare, which is also owned by myself and my husband, Mike, who's across here right now. He has some updates on that, so I'm just going to let you take it away.
Yeah, well,
It's
a lot to
news, and
cover.
we wanted to break it here first.
And we will, but we'll take a break.
Yeah.
And that way we won't have a break in what we're doing.
Okay.
And we'll go to our sponsors, and we'll be back right after these messages.